Hi everyone, this is Killshot from 99 Dead, and this is The Walking Dead. Dwight Goes to Fear the Walking Dead. I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you before we get in the stream. Just a lot of comments. It's been a very difficult 4 days. I wanted to go ahead and address it because I know many people are going to be addressing. I lost something very near and dear to my heart, and you guys know how it is when you're trying to get back into it. We're going to ramp along. This probably won't be a super long stream, but we do got some, great topics to talk about tonight. I want to jump in and say thanks. Super chat button is working. I've seen that already. I didn't even notice it was back up live in full effect. But Pete D, thank you so much for the super chat. Pete D says Happy New Year to everyone. I missed these streams. You are the man, Kills. You guys are just amazing. And also Valar. Of course, if there's a super chat, Valar is going to be in the house and says, hello, 99 Army. Welcome back, Kills. And thank you, each and every one of you. We're going to talk a little bit about The Walking Dead. And we've missed a lot of news, so just stay calm. There's a lot of things to talk about. We'll stream on Saturday, Sunday. Hopefully we can ramp back up to our regular schedule. But what I want to talk about is how this might go down. And I saw a comment a little bit ago when I was getting ready to log on. It was Paris who said that she was hoping that Dwight would be Rick's right-hand man in the movies. Keep in mind, that can still happen because we won't see the second time skip. Scott Kernan, Kills, are you okay? I'm better. I don't think I'm ever going to be... I don't know if I'll ever be back to that level. We'll just gradually work our way up to it. It's when we do random things, I think I'll touch on it a little bit more. But Morris was a big inspiration to this channel. One of the main reasons why I did the streams and set up the channel was that was my little co-pilot. So I know many of you guys saw pictures and saw the tattoos and everything. So, but yeah, he's in a happy place. So thank you for that super chat, Scott. So let me talk a little bit about Dwight and the time frame. Keep in mind, not a lot of time has passed. What do you guys think? Did we decide it was a little bit over a year with Dwight making his way back? They grew the was it the eggplants they grew? They grew the vegetables, and then Morgan left, and they went through everything they went through with Morgan. So another 6 or 7 months time period. So Dwight could still, in theory, make it back before the time skip. Morgan could make it back before the time skip, even though it's going to be tough, I think, to catch up. So let me throw this out there to the Army. What do you guys think? Do you think that Dwight found Sherry? Do you think that he found Sherry alive, maybe found Sherry dead, he moved on? What do you guys think about that? And Scott, yeah, it's a tough situation. Sorry to hear that as well. Really, really. People that if they don't know that pets have the same impact as humans, then they've never truly loved a pet. Thank you, Kimberly Smith. I appreciate that. And I'm feeling better to be with you guys. I think part of it is when you have this group, this 999 Army, this family, and we get together so often. It's hard to leave you guys for a week. So it is good to be back, and it's good to be back hanging out with you guys and talking about our favorite show. And you will just do a stream, completely devoted, because some of the comments I've gotten and some of the, your personal experience that you guys have shared with me has just been absolutely amazing, and I appreciate that. So Valar says they didn't mention anything about Sherry being back. Maybe she's dead or he didn't find her. So it just would seem a little odd that Sherry's leaving breadcrumbs all the way to Texas. So I think that would be extreme. I think do you guys think there has to be some sort of closure? Either it's going to be a Dwight and Sherry, Christina Evangelista, or it's just going to be Dwight has... Do we think Dwight would have left that area if he didn't have some closure? Cammie says, I think he did find her. Ecom says, I think Althea could have a Sherry tape for Dwight. That would be interesting. I mean, it would be very convenient and very coincidental if Sherry got all the way out there. I know from time to time we do talk about plot holes, but this would be a major... I don't know if plot hole is even the right word. It would be a major act of convenience for Dwight just to pack up and say, hey, I think I'm going to go... I mean, why not Montana? How is it that Dwight is going to end up in the exact same place that Morgan and this group of... They're almost like outcasts at this point. So we got Scott Kernan super chatting, says the reason why Dwight is coming to Fear is because of lawsuits. Apparently he was getting sued because of the stuntman who passed away. I did hear that, Scott. I heard that they were a little hesitant to schedule him, but still, you know, it's still AMC. And all I heard was he was on set when it happened with the stuntman. I didn't hear there was any liability, any responsibility, but I've heard that from multiple outlets that he was there. But I don't think that held up anything since he wasn't responsible. And I think he's moving to Fear for a couple of reasons. One is I think they want the Negan-Daryl dynamic to play out. I think Negan and Daryl need to become a partnership. And number two, Fear can use another star. Some of the people that were saying that they didn't think that it was a good idea for Dwight to come back, they didn't think it was a good idea, because we've done streams on this, right? We've talked about maybe Dwight and Negan partnering up in season 10, and there were a lot of people against that stream, against that concept, and now they moved Dwight to Fear, and some of those same people are also saying, well, okay, you know, why is he leaving? I like the move, personally. Let me know what you guys think. You think it's a good move or a bad move? I'm all for things making Fear a little bit better. Fear has gotten good, but I think it could be great with one or two people. It just depends on how they do it and how quickly we'll forget. Scott Kernan, also director of episode 14, Spoiled Flashback. I don't know a lot about episode 14. You're going to have to get me into that one. JB says, good move. Paris says, I love Dwight and like him going to Fear. Don't like Dwight. Julie. David Doherty says, not a question. Theory maybe that the note that Sherry left for Dwight said that honeymoon is where she's going. Maybe it's where they had their honeymoon. I think it's good enough for me. I don't need the best transition, because I think once Dwight gets over there, we're going to worry less about how he got there. I like to pick it apart a little bit. You know, the whole thing with Morgan, like Forrest Gump getting all the way to Texas. And that's what I've always said, is that some people are saying, well, what if Rick ends up on Fear the Walking Dead? I just don't think that all these people can randomly show up in the same state. There has to be a reason. And Dave Doherty, even if the reason is their honeymoon was there, that still is a little bit coincidental. The United States is a big place. Steph says, let Dwight go there for a visit, then he can bring Morgan back. I got you, Scott. More leaked pictures on Instagram. Are they the kind of leaked pictures that have two coffee cups side by side with the script that they actually exposed in The Walking Dead? I thought that was great. I thought the script with the coffee cups and then the fact that Michonne had the coffee ring in the one scene last season, I thought was just beautifully done. Now, there's where we're getting. So, Paris, that's one of the bullet points that I had for tonight. So, here's what you have in The Walking Dead. Is you've got Yumiko, Daryl, and you potentially had Dwight. There's only so many crossbow-wielding people that you can fit in The Walking Dead. So I like the move for a couple reasons. I like that you can get a crossbow shooter on Fear the Walking Dead. I also like that Dwight he's a Daryl type of character, but not with the same type of looks. Or is he? I got a follow-up to that. So Scott Kernan says, picture of director with flashback Michonne attire. Okay, gotcha. I'll go in and check it out, and we'll talk about it in a stream maybe this weekend. Okay, what is, if you guys remember, wasn't the last stream we did on Saturday, it might have been the one before that on Friday. What is the one thing, let's see if anybody gets some bonus points, that I've said the Fear the Walking Dead always needed? I'm not saying it's going to happen this way. If you get part one, you'll understand the second part to the question. What is the one thing that Fear the Walking Dead could use? A great villain. Exactly. Crystal the singer chick, she got it. Chocolate pudding. Well, we were hoping that Mel could be a good villain. Is it possible that Dwight starts out? Any chance at all that Dwight could possibly start out as a villain or start out kind of on the same page and end up as a villain on Fear the Walking Dead? Are we sure that he's just going to be good old Dwighty boy that's changed? Maybe he's trying to survive. Well, Eric, I don't know. I don't know that he's going to be a villain. But like Viola McGowan says, I can't see him as a villain. But we don't know. Yep, he's been hated once, and he played the role. All right, so a lot of people are saying, I hope not. So, look, we got Alicia. We got John. We got June. We got Althea. We got Morgan. We got Charlie. I mean, we got a group. And now we got Dwight. What are they going to fight? What is out there for them? I mean, the Vultures were not a very good villain in my mind. I like the story, but I don't think the Vultures were enough evil. Troy, Daniel, if they're going to have to do it better. Just checking a couple comments here. Troy will be the new bad guy. Yeah, I'm okay with Troy being a bad guy. But he's going to have to do some recruiting. Right, Liz. So the Vultures weren't used to their full potential. So let's rank the villains here. You got who? Was it Proctor John? You got the Vultures and you got Sharpie Lady. Is that about it? None of them even begin to scratch the surface of any villain on The Walking Dead. They're not even close. Hey, BK, thank you so much. Oh, I'm really sorry to hear that. All right. Well, hey, thank you so much, and get well soon. And hopefully we'll see you in the playback. Yeah, the Sharpie lady was creepy, but maybe she needed to kind of go off somewhere and haunt them a little bit more. I don't know. A little bit of her story was getting repetitive. The problem is when you have a villain on The Walking Dead and it's a solo villain, it's unbelievable that a solo villain can take down multiple of these people that have lived through so much. And at this state in the game, it's hard for villains to really recruit. Hey, June Smith, thank you so much for that super chat. And saying super chat is back, so am I. Kills and everybody, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to all of you. Appreciate that. William Finney, super chatting, says, I think he's with Sherry, so they'll join a group and he'll be a good guy. So what can they do that hasn't been done on The Walking Dead? And I do have to say, Sharpie Lady was creepy and it was somewhat original. I think we just compare everything to Negan. That's like the standard. That's like the gold standard of villains on The Walking Dead. Hey, what's up, Drama King? All right, so overwhelmingly, you guys do think Dwight will be a good guy. I mean, his story is he can't go back. Daryl said, I don't care how sorry he is. I'm going to kill that son of a bitch. I mean, Daryl's going to kill him if Daryl ever sees him. So that would have had to play out very gently. But him ending up in Texas, I'm still trying to think myself through it. William Finney, super chatting, says he can be the Daryl of the Fear Show. He can. Daryl has a certain appeal that Dwight doesn't have since he got the iron. But I think more so the Crossbow. And they have to break up the Crossbow trio. And now that Magna, Yumiko, Connie, that group is there, the reality is they really don't need Dwight. They got enough stars on The Walking Dead. That's a good question, Julie. The one thing I do like about Fear the Walking Dead, and this was after about the second or third episode of last season, when we really started to see the turn in the comedy value. The Walking Dead is always just, it's so dark and so drastic, and we get so attached to those characters that Fear the Walking Dead just has that humor element. And I think Dwight could do well with that. But see, here's a missed opportunity. This is the way I would have done it. All right. You guys, we got a couple hundred people in here. Everybody pike the like button, and I will give you my 10-star storyline of the way I would have improved Fear the Walking Dead and also created the best villain in the history of The Walking Dead all at one time. You guys are going to have to hold tight for this. Of course, it can't happen, but this is the way I would have done it. All right, there we go. Now we got everybody piking it. And I'm going to super chat here real quick. June Smith says, I like the fact Dwight is crossing over. Looks like Fear's becoming The Walking Dead. one of the most wasted characters, in addition to Carl. See, Carl died for Negan, but there was another character that died to show that Negan was turning the corner, and that was Simon. What I would have done is I would have had a Simon Dwight type of element and let Simon take a few of those saviors. Maybe Dwight leaves, Simon chases him down, and I would have put Simon on Fear the Walking Dead. Then you got Dwight that could be a good guy. And then you got Simon who actually could have had some clout. But, yeah, that they didn't think through. Simon had the charisma to get people. Yeah, I mean, he could have been Simon, and Troy could have been like his right-hand man. Well, exactly, June. But see, that's why Simon would have been such a good villain. Because there was a point that a lot of us thought Simon could take the torch from Negan at some point. Yeah, and Gamma, see, and that's good. Okay, friend, plenty of ways to get where you're going. I mean, Simon could have stayed in touch with that Fear the Walking Dead, a little bit of that slapstick, a little bit of that comic element. Well, apparently Troy didn't die. I sure thought he died, but yeah. See, Chris Rainig, that's what we're struggling with right now. How does Dwight just bump into Morgan? It's going to be an interesting transition, but keep in mind, Fear is known for its convenience. Troy might be just injured enough and angry enough and brain dead enough to be a good villain. Bring back Madison to kill Troy again. We'll just bring them all back. Nick never died either, right? Yeah, fluff. I mean, I guess, the care packages, they are marking the highways. That's a possibility. Pete D says Troy must have had a massive headache. Yeah, there's a lot that has to happen for the stars to line up to get all these people there. And Travis had a parachute. Yeah, there you go. I just wonder at some point if after all this stuff happens in Fear, it's just going to turn into like a Evil Dead 2 or just like a zombie comedy. So we're hitting the bullet points here. And, there's enough questions that it is going to be entertaining. What's Dwight's backstory? Did he find Sherry? Didn't he find Sherry? Is he angry? How does he end up in Texas? How's he going to run into these people? He does fit the outcast concept, though. It does seem like this group is just a bunch of, ragtag band of travelers. And, Dwight doesn't have a home. So that works. And it had to happen within reason. See, here's the problem. Either way, there was either going to be a problem telling the story to get Dwight to Fear, or there's probably going to be a bigger problem keeping Dwight around for 7 years and then bringing him back to Negan. So I think they're doing the right thing by taking him to Fear. Imagine that backstory. Here, I'm going to ask you guys this question. Let's pretend Dwight's not going to Fear, and Dwight is going to show up in season 10. And here's the question. Each one of you are Dwight, and I ask, like, hey, Dwight, what's up? Where have you been for the last 7 years? Let's see if you guys can give me a good answer to that question. Because I don't think the writers would have been able to do that. Paris, that can still happen. He's got another 5 years to kill, so he could still end up in the Rick movies. Westwood Chronic, I could not agree with you more. They need a story for season 5. Guess it's better than them handing out gift baskets. That's very well said. Just out looking for cigarettes, man. Yeah, he's been out practicing with the crossbow. Okay, I mean, that's a long time to be out looking for Sherry. If, I mean, if he was just to show up in season 10, we would have more questions than answers. And they would have to do like 3 or 4 flashback episodes just to show us what happened with Dwight. But now, not so much. See, now it sort of makes sense, but we just got to get him to Texas. So he's been out looking for Sherry for a year, which makes a lot of sense. Being out there looking for her for 7 years, we've speculated Sherry was a whisperer, Dwight could be a whisperer, Dwight could be hunting the whispers, but still, that's a long time. I'm totally okay with him going to Fear. Just got to figure out a way to get him there. Motorcycle, that truck. Relative. Yeah, I don't know. See, here's what's interesting. Remember I don't remember which stream it was. And we asked the question. All right, everybody. Zombie apocalypse. Where are we going to go? Where do we think is one of the safest places to go? See if you guys remember this. I want you to put your real life zombie apocalypse situation on. Because you guys asked me this question in a stream, and I thought I had a good answer. The mall. Okay. Casey's almost got it. Right. There you go. Sensational. Does anybody remember me saying the mountains? Exactly. All right. Remember I said the mountains. And I said cold could be a little bit of a benefit, but I said the mountains. All right. Morgan ended up in Texas. Dwight, is there a flatter state than the state of Texas? I just need to know. Isn't Texas like the flattest state in the United States? Could you pick a worse state to go to in a zombie apocalypse? It's highly populated. It's flat. It's hot. Diseases manifest. Why do you want to go to Texas? And apparently, they have hurricanes, Walker-nados. Kimberly Smith says, do you think if Fear gets canceled, they will bring him back to The Walking Dead? Yes. I think they'll bring several of the characters. I mean, if you really want to get down to it, I would probably pick like the Appalachian Mountains in Tennessee, or West Virginia, Shenandoah, that type of thing, because you'd probably have, well, one, you wouldn't have a huge population, so you wouldn't have to worry about a lot of walkers. Number two, you could go up in the mountains, and pretty sure the walkers would, for the most part, just tumble downhill. And number three, if you're really, really lucky, there's probably some moonshine or something to keep you going. That's probably enough. But Texas is not where everybody should show up. Now, and I say all of this in jest just to get sort of to the point. That, to me, is probably going to be the big story, is how much are we going to find out about Dwight and how we're going to get him to Texas. That's rough, Fluff. Tropicana Field. No one ever goes there. Is that for like the Devil Rays? No, you want to pick the Marlins. That's the one no one ever goes to. Ecom says Dwight is a prisoner taken to Texas by a new villain. Yeah, Ecom, it doesn't seem like there's an easy way to introduce him. That's all even if Troy finds Dwight first. That seems more coincidental, doesn't it? It's like, okay, Troy captures Dwight, and then Morgan and Alicia show up, and they're like, I know you. And then he's like, well, I know you. That's going to be bad. That's way. That is as bad as Nick ending up in Mexico and then Madison finding him at some supermarket and all of that. The way that all worked out. No, Dwight's going to have to go there on his free will somehow. Yeah, and I don't think... I guess Dwight could go back to the junkyard and maybe there's a clue, but Morgan didn't even know where he was going, so he couldn't have left a clue. 1189 Paris says Dwight could be involved with a group like the Claimers and turn on them to save Morgan's group. Yeah... I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty interested to see how they're going to write this in. Whether they're just going to do it and it's going to all connect the dots, or whether they're going to do it and it's just going to kind of insult our intelligence and then we're going to forget about it after 2 episodes and say, cool, Dwight's there. Doesn't matter anymore how he got there. We like his character. Well, I thought they did some really cool stuff last season with Fear. I thought the alligators, that was neat. The Walker NATO, that was neat. The flooding scene with Charlie and Alicia, I thought was cool. Where I like the intentional humor and the symbolism of the Walker being up there and Charlie was going to kill herself, and then Charlie's down in the basement, and then the Walker that was going to eat Charlie actually falls off and breaks the lock and opens the door. See, when they do it intentionally like that, it's cool to me. When they do it and they try to make it make sense and it doesn't, that's where it's a little harder to digest. And, I really think they have to go that route because there's only so much story and only so much creative zombie killings you can do. I mean, now you got the Whispers. I mean, could the Whisper, well, hang on a minute. We still got 5 years. I'm just going to throw this out there as just a real bizarre type of concept, I guess. It's still in the works, so don't hold me to it. I'm thinking this through as I go. There is still a 5-year time skip. I mean, could Fear the Walking Dead be the start of the Whispers? Or could they run into them? Or could they... There's a lot that can happen, right, Gamma? I mean, I'm not saying Morgan and Dwight and Althea and Alicia and John are the founders of the Whispers, but could they be some of the first victims? We follow their story, we think they're going to live happily ever after, but there's still 5 years, so maybe we watch them, and they're getting closer and closer, and then, bam! Both shows won't be going on forever. One is going to have to write itself off. Yeah, Uncle Creepy, that's what I'm thinking. Like a Fear the Walking Dead could be the origin of the Whispers. That would make the writers super, super bright if this whole time skip, and that's the whole purpose of it, I'd be cool with that. Wow, this is like, it's half news, half speculation. It's kind of like new speculation. What's up, nerd? Thanks for being here. I'm afraid to go that bold with the speculation because I will say I was one of the ones that said Dwight's going to come back in season 10. That him and Negan would partner up. Could still happen, but probably won't. I mean, the time frame works out well, but the show schedule doesn't work out. Now, if we see some Whispers and one of them's wearing Dwight's vest or one of them's wearing Morgan's, something that even looks like that, I think what we're going to have to do this season, really going to have to look and see how these Whisperers are dressed. See if there's anybody just kind of wearing something that we recognize. Because here's the thing. How did Alpha get her infinity belt buckle? And Sherry did write the infinity symbol. So maybe there is a crossover. We might see that. What if we see that belt buckle like Dwight later on? Then we're going to know. All right, so now, everybody, we got to look for the really good clues. And Dwight, after the burn, you never know. A lot of good stuff. And you know what? We are not going to be able to break it all down tonight. I just wanted this to be a good welcome back stream and to get everybody back together. We're coming up on 40 minutes, so as I mentioned, we are going to wind it down. Let's not hear a bunch of but once again, I do want to thank all of you guys. Just you guys are just an extremely wonderful support group. It has been a super, super trying last 5 days. It's going to get better. Being here with each and every one of you is just phenomenal. So I look forward to this opportunity. We're probably not going to stream tomorrow night. Couple things. One, first of all, I had a really, really bad cold, and then I went through the loss of my kitten, and my cold didn't get much better. I was actually getting better, and then everything kind of hit a roadblock. So it's kind of a 2-for-1 deal, but I think now that I got each and every one of you back, I think the cold's going to start to subside a little bit, and we'll get back to our regular streams. Got a couple more super chats I want to jump into. William Finney says, Robin says the Cowboy could be from Texas, first crossover. It's a good point, William. I like it. What we're going to do, we're going to do a lot of CSI this season and just really analyze the Whispers to see if the origins could have came from somewhere else. You know, if one of the Whisperers has like a camera, we know that's going to be Whisperer Althea, that she didn't quite make it through to Fear. And thank you so much, 1189 Paris. Appreciate that. I know you guys understand. You guys understand, family. So once again, I want to say thank you to each and every one of you. I'm going to start out with the patrons in the top left-hand corner. You guys are absolutely phenomenal. Thank you for everything that you guys do. The sponsors in the top right-hand corner. Also, we got our Super Chat feature is back in full effect. So let me shout out all the people Super Chatted in the stream. We get a ton of Super Chatters in these streams, and I know it's building this channel. It's been off, and now it's back on. So Pete D, Villar, Scott Kernan, ton of Super Chats there. Kimberly Smith, Ecom, multiple Super Chats. June Smith, William Finney with multiple. June 2, Westwood Chronic, awesome comment there. Kimberly Smith, 1189 Paris. And William Finney again. So thank you so much. And what else? Oh, I got another one. While I was doing the super chat, there was another super chat that popped in. So William Finney, want to say God bless you and the 999 Army. Thank you so much. You guys are great. I would not be doing a stream if I didn't say a shout out to the 999 Army. So if you guys can do me one huge favor, and everybody pike the like button, and also give me a big 999. I got two more things. Sorry, two favors. Also, Newfield 12, thank you so much. Sending some love and prayers your way, Kills. Appreciate that. Also, we are streaming here for the next few days. You guys, if you are not subscribed to the 999 Army YouTube site, if you guys could do me a favor and make sure you sub to that channel. We are going to continue to stream there as well. We're going to do our random things on that channel. And there's some other topics that we're going to add, like Game of Thrones topics. And then we're going to do some of our freestyle streams on there as well. There's some... there'll be some serious chats that we do. I won't ever get political. I won't ever get, have religious conversation with you guys. But there are going to be some streams that we get on there. And maybe there's some things that we can do to do some good from time to time in addition to our group. So I'll mention that a little bit later on. I got some ideas. Many people ask, I'm not going to put a reminder on my streams of my little buddy Morris, because it's just when I'm looking at the screen, I don't want to. It's tough. So he's in my heart, and I appreciate you guys. Next stream, it'll be a little bit easier. Thank you so much, everybody. Real quick, all the people hit 999: Chris Riddle, Walani, Julia Muse, Little Chi, Tommy V, Pauline Denardis, The Walking Dead Nerd, Edwin Gonzalez, moderators, awesome, Emmy, Steph, Tommy Kells, Lisa Khaleesi, Sharon, who else we got? Sharon, thank you so much. Kimberly Smith, Sarah Drumheller, thank you. Patrick Ivers, Bumblebee Brown, the Whisper crew in the house, Gamma, Omicron, thank you so much. Robin Vance, thanks for being here. Stefanella, I like to fish, thank you. Sheila Mack, appreciate it. Gina Crockett, thank you. Alejandro Martini, 1189 Paris, thank you. Anna Demo, thank you so much. Kimberly G, appreciate that. Deborah C, thank you. Dark Stark Killer, thank you. Tommy Man Bun McCandless wants my lock for Wild Card Weekend. Ravens defense is awfully tough. So I like the Ravens defense. I'm going to give you the Ravens. How about that? And never bet against Nick Foles, at least until he loses in the playoffs. Thank you so much, RJ. Appreciate that. Coma Drug, thank you. Uncle Creepy says go with the Seahawks over the Cowboys. All right, everybody. I will see you Saturday morning. If something changes and we do an emergency stream tomorrow, then stay tuned. I'll keep you guys posted. I'm out of it right now. I'll keep you guys posted. There's probably a low percentage that's going to happen. I would probably look more towards Saturday morning. Thanks, everybody. I appreciate everything you guys are doing, and I will talk to you all on Saturday. Peace.